Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, as luck would have it, I'm finishing up several R. Kelly videos about the imposter filings and their letter and their motions. And, I talk about the grand jury in these videos. And as luck would have it, I ended up watching a YouTube, not a YouTube, but a Yahoo video. And basically, at the end of this Yahoo video, it's about Breonna Taylor. Of course, we have lots of political things going on in the United States, lots of social unrest. And the grand jury for Breonna Taylor has returned their indictment of lesser charges, and people are protesting. And as luck would have it, we have a judge talking about the grand jury, and I thought this was a perfect opportunity to shed some light on the grand jury process and how the grand jury works. So it actually confirms a lot of stuff that I already had in my video. And let me know what you think.
And how important is it that the public get as much information as possible about the grand jury process, what they actually went through to come up with this decision?
You know, grand jury secrecy is based on the theory that if the grand jury does not indict someone, then the fact that they were being considered by the grand jury should not be made known. But we all know who the cops are. We all know who the potential defendants are. There's no reason for secrecy here. If I were the Attorney General, I would go to the appropriate court in that jurisdiction and ask for permission to unseal the materials that the grand jury reviewed, because the truth will set you free. The more evidence people know about this, presumably, the more rational the grand jury's decision will appear. At first blush, it does not seem rational. At first blush, it seems like it is just a slap on the wrist. At first blush, it appears as though the guy who actually killed her walked away scot-free, although he doesn't have his job anymore. But there obviously are reasons that the grand jury took into account when it chose this lesser charge. And those reasons probably are the lawful ability to use force when a bullet is fired at you, even when you don't know and can't see the human being that pulled the trigger.
So I thought that was kind of like an excellent video, excellent timing. We are just talking about a grand jury, and by chance, we have a judge here talking about the grand jury and the secrecy of a grand jury. And one of the things I want to point out is that this is probably a better example than I gave. I think the example I gave about why you wouldn't want to divulge the secrecy of the grand jury was for an impeachment with Trump, which really wasn't realistic and didn't really apply. But in this situation, you have the Breonna Taylor verdict, and obviously, you wouldn't want to divulge the people on that grand jury because they could be attacked. They could be attacked for returning lesser charges for the indictment for the police. They could also be attacked for returning any charges uh, whatsoever against the police. So this is why one of the reasons why you want to keep the grand jury secret. And one of the things that you should notice, he didn't say, when he said if he were an attorney in that jurisdiction, he would go and ask for some of the materials to be released. He didn't say that he would ask that everything be released for the grand jury, just some of the material. So, and then he also mentioned that there's no secret as to the officers, who the officers are. There are no secrets as to who the victims are, so on and so forth. And I think this is one of the problems that R. Kelly could potentially have in his case, because they are arguing that the victims should be kept secret in his trial, right? So there's, if without the grand jury, there's already this veil of secrecy. They're alleging that the alleged victims should be kept secret because they're going to argue that they could be in danger or there could be witness tampering. And this is also going to play in to the grand jury, the possibility that they could release grand jury testimony or the grand jury proceeding, because the prosecution is more likely going to argue that, hey, the victims are supposed to be kept secret. We don't want any tampering with the witness. They're probably going to argue that there's quite a bit of information about the witnesses in this case in the grand jury, and we want to keep the grand jury information sealed because we don't want, number one, to divulge any any of the witnesses' identity. So I don't know. I just think the secrecy in this case is just creating a lot of problems. But one thing you guys should understand, as it pertains to the grand jury is supposed to be secret, and you can hear the judge talk about this, and only on rare occasions, from the reading that I've done, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I don't go to court every day asking for them to release grand jury indictments. But from the reading that I've done, from watching this video, to me, it just seems like only in certain situations are you able to ask for the information regarding the grand jury to be released. And of course, when you file a motion like that, the prosecution in this case is going to come out and argue. They're going to say, well, hey, we are trying to keep the identities of the witness a secret. We've already filed a motion for this. The judge has already agreed. Now you're coming back to ask for grand jury information. And if the grand jury information is revealed, you're going to basically reveal the identities of the victims, thereby making the last judgment we had for this moot, right? You're basically going to circumvent, not moot, but you're going to circumvent the last judgment that we had for this, and you're basically going to reveal the identities of the alleged victims. So that's it for this video. I mean, I just wanted to quickly talk about this, and I just thought it was just divine timing or divine intervention. I'm sitting here making videos about the grand jury, and lo and behold, one click away, without any attention on my part, I'm clicking on other videos, and boom, information pops up about how a grand jury works. I thought I'd show you this. So that's it for this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and just let me know what you think about all this. Let me know what you think about the secrecy of this case, right? Because they're not revealing the names of the victims, and I have videos that talks about that. I think it's the Sixth Amendment. And then the secrecy of a grand jury. Let me know what you think about all of this. Again, leave your questions and comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe.